Hey guys, it's Becca. Welcome to another episode of Becca's Backyard, where I share with you my inside thoughts outside. And here we are, sitting again in Becca's Backyard. I wanted to first apologize to you guys for last week's video, which was so dark. I'm sorry, but it was so dark outside. And so it got me thinking a lot about what I might do about weather contingencies, because as we're kind of sitting here in October, thinking to myself, it's not going to get much better than that for the next couple of months here, though Colorado has given us this really glorious October day. I am sitting straight out in the middle of the sunshine with you guys today, because it's been super cloudy for the last couple of days, kind of chilly and a really fall feeling, like haunted, spooky fall feeling. But today it's beautiful. I mean, and I kind of miss the sunshine. It's really nice to have it out for today, and at least I get to share it with you guys for a bit. Excuse to sit outside, I guess, like I need one. In any case, but yeah, so I was thinking about what am I going to do, because it's going to get cold and it's not always going to be a good day to sit outside. It might be snowing, though I'll probably share some of that part with you too, because it's going to be my favorite season, winter. But maybe I guess I'll do some videos inside, maybe on my couch, and you'll get to see more of Walter and probably the cats, or maybe in my office or something, depending on the day and how I feel. I guess it'll be my inside thoughts, outside, inside edition. But we'll see. I'll figure something out for that, because I guess it's going to be a problem, and I kind of am enjoying doing these videos with you guys. I'm liking some of the interaction, and it's been really good practice for me to sort of remember my focus and be aware of my body language and all of those fun things, but also, you know, some free time to be a little unedited with you, because I genuinely don't go back and edit any of this. In any case, I'm going to talk a little bit this week, I think, about what my week was like coming back to, oh, that's really nice. I wonder if you can hear that. Can we hear that sensory problem that happens when you live anywhere near a city? If you can't hear it, it's really offensive bass in someone's car that I'm not sure how they're sitting in it as it drives by. If you couldn't hear it, lucky you. In any case, this week back was my first week back after, a week away, with a tech break and a social media break. So it gave me a little bit of anxiety. It was a lot of that return to all of the emails I had given myself permission to ignore, and all of the social media I hadn't read or kept up with, the stuff that may or may not be going on with my friends or whatever. And so if I missed something that I would usually follow, I apologize. I did my best to keep up with you and kind of let you know where I've been at and what's been going on. But, it's always hard. It's kind of overwhelming to go through all of that stuff. So it was that. And then on top of it, you're coming back from, really having no responsibilities at all to having all these kind of hefty responsibilities, to come back to a lot of adulting. It was a lot of work responsibilities, have to go back to doing that, and a lot of, personal stuff that's not necessarily the fun stuff in life. And, I came back to a lot of having to do that. But it was exhausting, in its own way. It used a lot of spoons. It was kind of an energy sucking week where I just never felt like I did enough. It just didn't feel like I checked enough off my to-do list, or couldn't get ahead. And I definitely wasn't able to do some things for some people that I had hoped I would get to, and all kinds of other stuff like that. But at the same time, on the other side of that, the stuff that I was doing was stuff that I really wanted to be doing, that were really markers for me of where I'm at in my life. The fact that I had any adulting to do was super exciting for me. The fact that the adulting stuff that I was doing was stuff that I want in my life, that I've worked for, or I've is now a part of my life because I've kind of met some of my own goals. And so I had to look at it like that too. Was it fun? No. Not all of it was fun, I can promise you that. But and was it exhausting? Yeah. And the other side of that was that what I do for work, I love. It's my passion. It's my special interest, but it's also my passion, and I'm personally invested in it. So even though it takes a lot of my energy, I really love it. And so I would go to bed every night this week kind of like, oh, I had not another ounce of energy left, nothing. Don't ask me another question. But at the same time, on the opposite side of it, it was, I'm so tired, but I'm so fulfilled. So it was a fulfilled exhaustion, which many of us on the spectrum, I think, experience the opposite of that, which is just running out of spoons, feeling like you're treading water, just trying to pass or get by that day. And there are many days that I have like that, absolutely. But I'm really grateful to say that the days that I'm feeling fulfilled outnumber the days where I'm just feeling drained and exhausted. And so that's a really big achievement for me. That's something I never thought I'd see in my life. And being able to flip the switch and kind of say, yes, I'm really, really tired, but I'm tired because I was doing A, B, C, and D, and I'm grateful for those things. I'm grateful to have to do those things. That's something I had to train my brain to do. And so that I did it kind of more automatically this time around was exciting for me. And it's something that I think with a bunch of practice and at least using it regularly, I think folks on the spectrum would really benefit from really just trying to remember that we're in charge of where we put our energy, where we use our energy, because it's ours. And so if you're using a lot of your energy not for stuff that's leaving you feeling tired but fulfilled, and you're using that energy instead for feeling just feeling angry or resentful or tired or anxious or depressed and all of those the spoon-sucking emotions, you know, it might be time to think, what are the things you could be doing differently? What are the things that you'd like to change? I mean, I definitely didn't get here overnight, and my life definitely didn't look anything like this 6 years ago. But it took lots of really important tiny steps after another, you know, like one success led to another success. So I just kept building successes, you know. I didn't kind of put energy into, I don't know, what was sucking my soul dry, it feels like sometimes. But I just decided I wanted to reroute my energy, and if it wasn't something that made me feel good about my life, then I decided I wasn't going to do those things anymore. And sometimes those things weren't things. Sometimes those things were people. That happens too, I think. I did a lot of work in clearing my life of people that were not really good for me. And it was lonely sometimes, and it was painful sometimes, but you guys, super, super important, right? I don't care how small my circle is, as long as it's filled with people that are filling me up while I fill them up, right? I'm working with people that are working towards the same cause that I am. We're not all working in a place working for a different cause, right? All that stuff means something to me, and I remember it distinctly because one of my favorite jobs that I've ever had in my life was as a vet tech. I was a vet tech for many years working in a shelter environment, and I loved it. And the reason I loved it was because it didn't suck my soul, because it thoroughly exhausted me. I would work 12-hour shifts, you know, 6-7 days a week, because that population just never doesn't need help. But I loved that job. I was exhausted and dirty and smelly as I was 90% of the time. I loved it because I felt fulfilled when I came home. I had made a difference for some animal, some family, some situation by going in and doing my job. And when I've had jobs that I didn't get that from, I didn't love them, and I didn't want to stay at them, and I would feel frustrated, and it would not add to my life, but instead take away from it. And I think we got to make those choices, and we have to learn that we have options and learn how to make those decisions as people on the spectrum. And that decision-making process definitely looks different for us. So remember that. Remember that when you're asking advice of people, and remember that there's multiple ways to do things. So, you know, ask lots of people. Don't just ask one set of people. But then follow that, you know, that instinct. Turn that gut instinct back on, and learn to trust yourself again, and follow that, is what I say. Because a couple of steps like that in a row where you're following that, and everything starts to change. And it's really like that simple. But in any case, that was my week back. Those are my big takeaways from my week back of no social media. More philosophical maybe than more, I don't know, maybe I do that every week. I don't know, that's just kind of how my brain works when I'm left to my own devices. So if you hate it, tell me. If you don't hate it and you want to hear more, great. If there's something specific you'd love for me to talk about, please tell me that too, because I want to make sure that these videos are worth your time and not just wasted energy of mine or yours, right? It's all about that energy, right? How do we want to spend it and what do we want to use it for? Do you want to spend your energy watching these videos? If so, tell me what you'd like to see in them. I'd like to spend my energy giving that to you. In any case, thank you for joining me for another episode of Becca's Backyard, where I share my inside thoughts outside with you here on a beautiful, sunny Colorado afternoon. I'll see you guys next week.